Hey out there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cherie and I decided to come sit down with you and do a story time. I have not sat down in a while and had a conversation with y'all, so today is the day to do that. So before we get started, please like, share, and subscribe and press that bell notification so anytime I drop a video, you will be the first one to know. Please come join the family, come on this journey with me and you know, see what everything is all about. So today, let's get right into it. Please go get your popcorn and your snacks and your drinks and just sit down with me, because today I'm gonna be talking about how we got our marriage license in New York. So for anyone out there that don't know, I'm getting married October 28, 2023 in Dominican Republic. But we decided to get our marriage license here for so many reasons. But the main reason why we wanted to get the reasons. Anyways, the reason why we wanted to get our marriage license here was because we wanted our marriage license to say the date of our anniversary, which was August 11th. So we were stuck on that date and we did not want our marriage certificate to say any other date but that day. Even though we're having a ceremony October 28th, we will be celebrating our marriage August 11th, which is the same day as our original anniversary. So that's what this whole situation was about. So let me fast forward a little bit and tell you what it is that you need to do to even be seen, to even get an appointment or to get your marriage license. So I have never been married before, but I have heard from other people that it was really easy breezy. But I think when COVID hit, it changed a lot of the dynamics of how to do things. I mean, even with like doctor's appointments and church and etc. Just a lot of things have changed, and this was no different. No different. So first off, you cannot just go down there. You have to go online, fill out an application to get an appointment. You have to go and get an appointment, and then you have to see if the day that you want is even available. Then after you pick the day that you want, which ours is August 11th, you have to pick the time. It ranges from anywhere, I believe, from 9 o'clock to like 3:30. So our time was at 1 o'clock, I believe. So that's the time that we picked. So that's exactly what happened with that. So after you get your time and the date that you want to go down there, you submit that, you get a confirmation number saying, hey, you got an appointment. But now, before you get, now that you got your appointment, we're going to take you on another journey where you have to go fill out paperwork. Now, for what I understand from people that was married, they said that this paperwork is the same type of paperwork that they filled out when they went down there. They just made it I guess easier for people because of COVID, that you fill it out online. And they wanted blood. When I tell you trying to get married, they wanted blood. So first off, you as the bride and him as the groom has to fill out your first name, your last name, where you were born at. Have you ever been married before? You have to fill out your mother's name, your father's name, where they were born at. I believe those were kind of one of the questions at the end of the day. And if you were married before, like I said, I wasn't, you have to bring proof. They're not trying to listen and try to, you know, yeah, I'm divorced. No, they don't want no nonsense here. You got to come down there with them divorce papers from your previous marriage saying you are no longer married, right? So, they just wanted blood. So after you submit all of that, you get another confirmation number and you have to screenshot that and keep that. So fast forward to August 11th, right? We are excited that we're just going to get this done. My family's coming down to meet us at the court house. You need to have 2 witnesses, a witness for the bride or a witness for the groom, or however you want to swing it. It has to be 2 witnesses, right? So after we got up, got in the shower, got ready, my brother came, which was my witness, and my best friend was there. She was not my witness, but she was coming there to support me. And my best friend, my husband, his best friend was coming to be his witness, which was, he was meeting us downtown Brooklyn, I believe, at the courthouse to be our witness. So we're taking pictures. I was assert some pictures in at the end. We took some pictures. We was really excited. We jumped in the car and we drove down there. We get there, we meet his best friend. We walk to the courthouse. At the end of the day, you know, you got to go through the metal detectors. You know, they ask you what you're here for. We tell them what they're here. They tell us what floor to go on. We get upstairs and we have to now wait because they are on lunch. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're at lunch. So we have to make a line up against the wall and wait until they open the courtroom doors. So finally, I think that took maybe like 10 minutes or whatever the case may be. They open the courtroom door. You have to come. There's a officer sitting there. She asks you your name. You give her your name. You show her your confirmation number that you do have an appointment. And then you have to show her, she has to show you, you have to tell her the time, I believe, or something of that nature. And then when she sees the time, she gives you a number. So then you have a seat and you basically wait for your number to be called. Now this is when it starts getting crazy. So, me and my husband's number was called. We get up. My best friend gets up. My brother gets up. His witness gets up. Because we believe that we're going to get married right then and there. Like I said, I have never been through this rodeo, right? So we sit down. They ask us like, hey, you know, let me see your confirmation number. They see the confirmation number. He pulls up all the information. The confirmation number that he's asking for is for the questionnaire about our name. Have we ever been married? Blah, 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 blah. He pulls that up. He's like, okay, that's great. You have everything. That's good. So you are able to get a marriage license. But not today. I said, what you mean not today? He's like, no, you have to come back. You have to go back online and get another appointment if you want to get a marriage license done here. Meaning have it signed here by the judge. Now, if you don't want to do that, this marriage license is good for 60 days where you can get married in a church and have your pastor or your preacher or whoever, bishop or whoever it is, sign it at the end of the day. And that's the date that you will be married. So you have 60 days to do that. So if I'm making any sense, I hope I'm not going too fast. So basically, you have 60 days to get married. If it's not, it would cancel out. That you would have to start the whole process over again. So the problem with me and my husband is that we did not want to come down there another day. We wanted August 11th. That is the day that we wanted. So we were not trying to hear what he was trying to say. So we was like, we did not know that. We really want this day. You know, this day means a lot to us. You know, we really pouring it on heavy. We pouring it on heavy for him at the end of the day. And he's like, straight face, not caring. I wouldn't say attitude. I would say he was doing his job. You know, he was just really straight face on, it's not happening today. Ma'am, sir, slice it, dice it, put it in the bag. It's not happening today. So what you can do is ease on down the road and go get you another date. So now, obviously, my brother then took off of work. My best friend then took off of work. My husband's best friend then took off of work. So we turn back around and we're looking at them like, we have 60 days to do this, right? Or then we have to come back and do this whole process over. We're looking at them like, we're wondering if they're able to take another day off. So my brother's like, yeah, we'll take another day off. And my best friend's like, yeah, I'll come and be the witness or whatever the case may be. And so as my husband's best friend as well. So we already knew that we had that covered. But the issue was that we did not want another wedding date on that wedding license. We did not want another date. We wanted August 11th. So I was sitting there looking like my dog died. I was sad. I was just like destroyed. I could not believe what was going on. So I guess the guy had a little pity. He said to me and my husband, listen, if you want that date, you will have to go see the judge. The judge? He said, yes, you will have to go get pardoned. Pardon? We did a crime? What? What's going on here at the end of the day? I was like, So he's like, yeah, mind you, court closes at 4 o'clock. By now, it's 2 o'clock. So I'm like, looking at my husband, I'm like, should we do that? He's like, babe, one thing about my husband, he's always a rider. That's why I married him. Besides, everything else. He's a rider at the end of the day. Whatever it is that I want, hey, we're going to make it happen. So he knew that that meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to him as well. But he knew that I really wanted August 11th to be our marriage date at the end of the day. So he was just like, whatever you want to do, I'm riding with you. So I turned back to the guy. I'm like, do you think that we'll be able to make it in time? And he's like, yeah, so this is the process, what you have to do. You got to go across the street. I'm like, it's not in the same building. He's like, no, you got to go across the street. And then when you get across the street, you now have to go through the metal detectors, go upstairs, and then you have to wait to be pardoned. So you have to now go and speak to somebody, and then after they pardon you, or they feel like your reason is good enough, they will stamp the paper and have you go see the judge. This is what he's saying. And then you have to come back here to a judge to marry you. So I just turned to my husband. I'm like, listen, let's just roll the dice on this. Let's just do it. So we get up. My best friend and them is just like, what's going on or whatever. I'm like, we're going to go get pardoned. They're like, pardon? What happened here? Somebody, did a crime? I mean, I'm like, no. So I explained to them exactly what happened. So we like rushing and busting. We going downstairs. We get outside. We go across the street. Now we get across the street. We go through the metal detectors. We go through the whole situation again. We're asking what floor it is. He says to us, oh, it's on the 7th floor. So we go upstairs to the 7th floor. There's nobody on the 7th floor. I don't know what he was even talking about. This court officer, I don't even know what he was talking about. Like, what do you mean the 7th floor? There's nobody on the 7th floor, sir. What are you going on? So as we get up on the 7th floor, right, it's me and my husband and my best friend, right? We're on the 7th floor, and my husband's best friend. My brother decides that he wants to take the steps. He's a health nut. He refuses to take the elevator. He's a vegan. He needs to keep himself in shape. So he decides to walk up 7 flights of stairs. So as he's walking up the 7 flights of stairs, and we realize now that there's nothing going on the 7th floor, I turned to my best friend and I said to her, I said, hey, best friend, you're going to have to wait for my brother to come upstairs, because if we all go downstairs, then he will come up and see that we're not there. And then what's going to happen? Mind you, the cell phones were not really working like that. Like, I think the service was going in and out. So we were trying to like call him to let him know, but we weren't getting any response. So she said, okay, she'll stay there. She'll wait. So we got on the elevator. We went back downstairs. We asked the security or the court officer, hey, the 7th floor, that's wrong. We want to get pardoned for it. He's like, oh, that's what y'all want to do? I'm like, I thought that we explained that, sir. We didn't explain that? I thought we did, but okay, fine. So he tells us like, oh, you got to go down the hallway, make a left, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we get there, and he says, oh, but by the way, they're on lunch. At this time, it is 2:30, and I'm like, well, what time do they come back from lunch? He's like, I believe they come back at 3 o'clock. You joking with me, right? You guys to be joking with me. What do you mean they come back at 3 o'clock? What are they coming back at 3 o'clock for? Like, what is going on? So he's like, yeah, I think it's anywhere between 2:45, 3 o'clock. Mind you, the court closes at 4 o'clock. We got to be back at that building by 3:30. Because if we're not back at that building by 3:30, guess what? I don't care about no partying. I don't care who said y'all can get married today. Guess what? It ain't gonna happen today. It won't be happening today. So we were just like, okay, no problem. So as we're walking to the room where we have to sit on the bench and wait for them to come back from lunch, right? My best friend calls me and she's like, I'm stuck in the elevator. I said, what do you mean you're stuck in the elevator? Stop playing at the end of the day. And she's like, no, I'm not playing. I'm stuck in the elevator. I said, but first of all, what are you doing on the elevator? You're supposed to be waiting for my brother so you can inform him what is going on. She's like, well, he took too long. So I decided that I was going to get on the elevator and go back downstairs. Now, mind you, my brother is now coming through the hallway to meet us. And I'm like, well, I thought you were going to be on the 7th floor. He's like, I went up there and I didn't see anybody, so I came back downstairs. But I'm telling him, like, Mimi is waiting for you, but now she's stuck in the elevator. So he's like, what? So I'm telling her, like, Mimi's my best friend, by the way. So I'm like, what do you mean you stuck on the elevator? Like, I really could not believe she was stuck on the elevator. So I was torn in between the fact that I wanted to get my marriage license and I had to help my best friend get out of the elevator. So I'm like, press the bell, because this is the only way that I knew she was telling the truth, because we like to tell jokes, we like to play, but this wasn't a playing matter. You get what I'm saying? Not until she started pressing that bell that I realized, oh yeah, yeah, she's stuck on that elevator at the end of the day. So I'm like, how in the hell did you get stuck on the elevator? So I'm telling her, press this button, press that button, but she's like, I'm pressing every button. So the person comes on and they're like, yes, may I help you? Sir, what you mean, may you help her at the end of the day? Like, he acted like he was taking a McDonald's order or something. He's like, may I help you? So she's like, I'm stuck on the elevator. So he's like, oh, you're gonna have to give us a moment. So I'm like, hey, Mimi, do your thing, baby. We gonna have to get to this court right here because we gotta get parting. We don't got time to play here at the end of the day. Time is crunching at the end of the day. So she's like, okay, no problem. So we hang up the phone. My husband's like, every time we take her, and literally, and this is no shade to her, I love her and she knows this. So if you're watching this video, Meme, shout out to you. You know I love you from the bottom of my heart. But anytime we go somewhere, whatever can happen to her will happen to her. Like, seriously, like, she is a person that I don't know if she has a cloud over her head, but it's always something. It's always something with her. No matter where we go, it's always something with her. So we were just laughing like, this girl is crazy. So I'm telling my brother, like, do you want to go back upstairs and see what's going on? So he's like, okay, I'm gonna go back upstairs and see what's going on, because I'm sure she probably scared. Maybe I could talk to her through the elevator door. So I'm like, all right, fine, because we can't. We got to get crunching after the day. So now we're standing on a line because other people need to be partying as well. Now, I don't know what these people, listen, hold up now. I don't know what they got to be partying for. I don't know what kind of crimes they committed. I don't know what's going on, what kind of tickets they didn't pay, or what is going on. But I know they probably wasn't being partying for what we were being partying for. Or maybe they was. I really don't know, but they were standing there. So I want to say we had like 3 people ahead of us. 3 people ahead of us. Now, we don't even know the process. We don't know how fast this is going to take. Only thing we know that is time is crunching. And we need to get back across the street before 4 o'clock. So I want to say by now, it should be around like 2:45, 2:50. You get what I'm saying with this? So now, my best friend, comes down, running. Oh, I'm out the elevator, I'm out the elevator. I'm like, where's my brother? Because he is my witness, right? So I need him as well. She's like, I didn't see your brother. I'm like, he went upstairs. All right, you know what? Never mind. Y'all stay in here and figure it out, right? So, like I said, it was 3 people ahead of us. They did what they had to do. They came out. They did what they had to do. They came out. And now it's our turn. So now we go inside there. Mind you, I forgot to tell you that he handed us a paper stating that we wanted to get part in. So this was a paper with all our information and everything on it, our address and all this other stuff that we needed, so we can hand it over to this lady. So we get in there. And we get to the front desk. She's not at the desk. I don't know where she went. She went to the back real quick. Like, lady, you just got off for lunch. Like, could you come back up here? Come over here. So anyway, she comes. We give her the paper, and she's looking over the paper, and she's like, well, why do y'all want to get part in? So, you know, we had to sprinkle some stuff on it at the end of the day, because we really honestly didn't really know. It was our anniversary, you know. We wanted this date. This date meant a lot to us after the day. And we did not know if that was just all they was going to accept. So we didn't lie. We just sprinkled some little dust on it. That was all after the day, right? So she was like, oh my God, that's beautiful, or whatever the case may be. Excuse me. And I'm like, yeah, you know, da-da-da-da, we're talking or whatever the case may be. And then she looks. And she says, can I have your IDs? So we give her our ID. Now, my husband's ID says a different address. He got his ID before we lived together, so he didn't change his address, right? And my address says my address. So she looks at the IDs and she's like, oh, I can't let you see the judge. And we're like, why not? She's like, y'all don't have the same address. Ma'am. I was like, well, the guy didn't say anything about us having the same address. I mean, at the end of the day, he was the one giving us our marriage license at the end of the day. So he didn't have a problem with us having a different address, because there is a lot of cultures out there where you cannot live with each other before being married. So the groom and the bride will have different addresses. I didn't even understand what she was talking about with that. I didn't understand if she just wanted to be important. I didn't really get it. But I was just like, of course we don't have the same address. Like, we're not married. Like, why would we have the same address? So she's like, well, let me tell you what I'm going to do at the end of the day. But wait, before she said that, my husband handed over his military ID. And when he handed over his military ID, he was like, I'm in the military. That's the reason why my address says something different. And then she was like, oh my God, because it gets him every time. I don't know what the military thing is with him, but like, we get through a lot of issues and problems with him saying he's in the military. So, and this time was nothing different. Shout out to you, husband, for being in the military. Salute to you on that one. So he tells her, he shows the ID that he's in the military, and she's like, oh, okay, no problem. She's like, oh my God, thank you for serving the country. She salutes him. She's like, you know what I'm going to do for y'all? Shh, you know what I'm going to do for y'all? So we like, what? And she's like, I'm going to just put, y'all got the same address on it, so y'all could go see the judge, but don't say that. So we're like, oh my God, thank you. She's like, no, say thank you. You wouldn't try to get me in trouble. Y'all trying to get me in trouble. She's being so dramatic. No lie, she's being so dramatic about this. I was just like, lady, you could have been did this. You just want us to beg and plead with you. Okay, no problem. Thank you. We appreciate it, right? So she does it. She signs it. Boom. She stamps it. Pardon. So we like, okay. She's like, oh no, it's not over yet. Ma'am, it's more? You just pardoned us. Don't we not go back across the street? She's like, no. I'm just saying that your excuse was good enough for you to see the judge. So wait a second. If our excuse wasn't good enough for us to see the judge, we weren't going to be able to see the judge. She's like, no, you have to come to me, and I have to feel like it's worth it for you to go upstairs to his chambers. His chambers? Okay, lady, you playing with me. After the day, so I'm like, okay. So by then, I want to say maybe it's like 3 o'clock, 3:10 at the end of the day. So we just like, okay, no problem. So she calls up. She's like, hey, this is a good story right here. I'm sending up 2 people. They want to get pardoned. They need to see the judge. I guess she's talking to the judge's secretary. So she's like, you need to go all the way upstairs to the 3rd floor and this, that, and the 3rd. So I'm like, okay, cool. Mind you, we come out. Now, my whole family that's supposed to be staying in the car waiting for us, because we're supposed to be going out to City Island afterwards, they come in like deep, like, what's going on here? So we trying to explain to them what's going on, but we don't have the time. We don't really have the time. So we're just like, listen, this is what's going on here. And my family's like, pardon, because that word for some reason have this thing where you did a crime and someone is trying to excuse your behavior at the end of the day. So we like, no, we'll explain later, this, that, and the 3rd. So now they taking pictures. They want to take pictures with us. We like, we don't have the time to do this. We got to get upstairs. So me and my husband, boom, dashes out. Paperwork, everything in our hand. We ripping, we running. We get to the elevator. I don't remember what floor it was on, so no, I'm not even going to speak about the floor. We got up there, and now the court officer is sitting there. He's looking at his little phone, and he's just not paying attention. He got his earphones in, and he's chilling. So we like, hey, we're here to see the judge. So he's like, here to see the judge for what? What? I said, we supposed to get pardoned. Here's the paperwork. So he's like, all right, give me a second. So he gets on the phone, and he makes a phone call, and he's like, yeah, let's call the secretary, Judy. Yeah, Judy, we got 2 people here, and they wants to see judge, So, you gonna come get them or nah? Yeah, I'm gonna come get them. Okay, so he's like, yeah, she'll be with Judy, will be with you in a minute. So we like, okay, no problem. So we sitting there, we waiting, we just like, all right, fine. So Judy comes out, she's like, hey, how you doing? She was very polite, she was very nice. We like, hey, how you doing? She's like, oh, you here to come see the judge? We like, yes. She's like, all right, come in. So now we go in. We are literally walking through a maze. Like, if somebody was trying to get to this judge, you wasn't finna get to him, because number one, you got to go through a maze to get to him at the end of the day. Like, we were literally walking like a mouse in a maze, like just going in circles and this and that. Like, she was going to make sure we did not know how to get back here if we ever tried to get back here at the end of the day, right? So We get in there, and they got the court officers with the guns standing up. They got Judy's desk over there. And then they have some other guy standing there. So we just standing there because we don't know what's going on. This just looks like, a movie, a show at the end of the day that you would see on TV. So we just standing there with the court officers with the guns or whatever. So he's like, yeah, they need to see the judge or whatever. She's like, yeah, well, she walks in front of us while we're just still standing there. So the court officer that's standing there inside the office, he's like, yeah, you got to follow her into his chambers. So we're like, okay. So we walk through, mind you, I have never been in nobody's chambers, honey. Never. Never been in anyone's chambers. And we get in there, and it was beautiful. They had couch. He had, like, table and fancy chairs and coffee maker, and he's sitting behind his big desk. And we just standing there. And he's like, oh, so y'all want to get parted? How are y'all feeling? We like, hey, we're doing good or whatever the case may be. He's like, come, have a seat. So I'm like, should we sit on a chair? Or should we, like, he had two chairs, like, right in front of his desk. And then he had the couch. So we like, should we sit on the couch or should we sit? So he's like, no, come sit up here. So I'm like, all right. So we just sat there. I'm like, oh, God. So this is the make and break moment, right? So he goes, oh, he's reading or whatever. He's like, oh, this print is so small. He's like, oh my God, but this is a beautiful story. This is who was in the military? So my husband's like, oh, I'm in the military or whatever. He's like, oh, thank you for serving our country. There's no way that I could impart in you, this, that, and the third. I'm like, whatever. So he's like, yeah, thank you or whatever. So he's like, okay, y'all can go get married. Boom, he stamped it. He got up, he shook our hand. He was an amazing judge. He was really nice to us after the day. The whole staff was nice. I don't have anything bad to say about them. They were really nice after the day. They gave us what we wanted. They were nice after the day. So he, shook our hand. He told us good luck on our marriage. And that's it. So now we flying. Boom, 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 boom. We flying. By then, I have to say, it's like 3:20. It's like 3:20. So we're flying. Now, mind you, we got to go back across the street. Right? And it's not a far walk. But when you crunch for time, it will seem like eternity. It would literally seem like you trying to get walking from Brooklyn to Manhattan. That's how it feels when the time is clicking at the end of the day. So now we don't even know how to get out. So we get out at the end of the day. Now, mind you, they done brought us up in this maze now, right? And now they don't even escort us back out. They just say, go find your way, how you found your way, little mouse, at the end of the day. So now we get out at the end of the day. And we're looking and we're trying to, like, basically find our way. And then a lady just happened to be coming out the bathroom. I'm like, I'm sorry, ma'am. Can you please, like, help us get out? And she's like, oh, yeah, let me walk you to get you out. So she walks us to get out because Judy just left us. Judy didn't give a rat tail about us. She did her job. She came and got us and she brought us to the judge. And that was all you was going to get at the end of the day. Now, you got your paper, go find your way. So the nice lady that came out the bathroom, she came, she brought us or whatever. She took us out or whatever. We pressed in the elevator or whatever. We told the court officer, thank you. And we went downstairs. Now my family is down there. They want to start. I'm like, we got, like, we were really happy. We got parting. We was laughing with them and this, that, and the third. And, like, they like, oh, my God. So we all getting excited. We talking about what happened and this and that and that. And the court officer turned to us and said, you might want to get across the street. It's 3:30. That's God right there. Because we got what we wanted and we were so excited and happy about it that we forgot the main task at hand is that we had to get across the street and get married. That was the main task at hand at the end of the day. So we standing here kiki and me at the end of the day, and he was just like, hello, you might want to get back across that street. So we snapped out of it, and I'm like, all right, we got to go. So now my family, we all dashing. We gone. We flying through it. We out. We get to the building. As we get to the building, mind you, my brother have been through like 3 times through a metal detector. Why this time around we all go through the metal detector and they like, stop it, sir. You got a pocket knife on you. You can't. A pocket knife? I couldn't make this up. He had a pocket knife and for some reason it scanned off this time. Now, mind you, the first time we went, it didn't scan off. The second time we had to go back to the court, it didn't scan off. But now it wants to scan off. You're my witness. Why are you coming in the courthouse with a pocket knife? Who are you trying to shank, sir? At the end of the day. So they stop him. They like, listen, that's not going to happen. So it's either you going to give us the pocket knife and we're going to throw it away and then you can go about your business at the end of the day, or you don't go at all. So I turned to him. I'm like, yo, screw that pocket knife. So then there was another officer that was like, hey, he's getting married today. He's not getting married. Because let me tell you why they thought he was getting married. Because I'm going to insert some pictures of him at the end of the day. He shows his little self off at the end of the day. He had on a whole 3-piece suit on with my husband. My husband looked nice, but he didn't look like he was getting married at the end of the day. But my brother came to slay, honey. So they thought he was getting married. So they're like, oh no, we'll hold on to the pocket knife. He's going to get married. Whatever works. We did not have no time for no wordplay. We didn't have no time to be like, nah, he ain't getting married. It's him getting married. Hey, you want to think he getting married? He getting married. Let's go. So now we go. All of us go in the elevator. We all go upstairs. We telling the lady, hey, we came back. We need to get parting. We got parting. So she's trying to look for our name. I'm like, lady, why are you looking for our name? We were already here. So she's like, oh, yeah, y'all was here already. She's like, y'all back? I'm like, yeah, because we need to see the judge now to get us to get married. So she's like, okay, no problem. Get the number, sit down, and wait. So we're like, all right, no problem. We sit down and wait. Ding, 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 ding. We don't care what time it is now, because once you in that building and you got that number, they got to see you. So by then, I think it maybe was like 3:40, but we did not care because we were in that building at the end of the day, right? So now they call us. We go up to the window. She's like, okay, you want to see the judge? You want to get married today? We're like, yes, we want to have a ceremony. I guess that's what they call it, a ceremony. We're like, all right, no problem, whatever. So she's like, you have your witnesses? We're like, yes, we have our witnesses. So my husband's witness come up, my witness come up, and then they have us sign our name, sign the name, because I'm not keeping my last name. I'm taking my husband's last name. So I signed that. And then my brother had to sign his name, his address. And so did my husband's witness as well. They had to give ID. I'm telling you, they wanted blood. They wanted blood at the end of the day. So we standing here like, what is going on here? Like, what's going on? So finally, they get the IDs. They give us the thing. They tell us how much it is. I think we paid, let me quote this. I don't want to really quote this. But I think it was altogether maybe like $60 or something in that nature. It was $30 for the license and $30 for the ceremony or something in that nature. Anyway, my husband paid it because we didn't have no time to even care how much it was. At that point, we were just willing to pay whatever it is that we needed to pay because we needed to get the show on the road. So he paid it at the end of the day. And then after he paid it, we sat back down because now we have to wait for the judge. So then the judge comes. Now, who the judge is? The judge is the guy that told us about us getting pardoned. We didn't even know that he was a judge at the end of the day. This is why this is the reason why you have to always be kind and nice to people, because you really don't know if you're entertaining an angel. This man, I thought he was just a regular clerk. No, sir. He was a judge. He was the person that was being married. Now imagine marrying people. So imagine if we were nasty or rude to him. First of all, he wouldn't even told us that we were able to be pardoned. And now we got to sit up in this man's face to marry us at the end of the day. You get what I'm saying? That's why it's always important to be kind to people at the end of the day, because you just don't know who you entertaining. So anyways, fast forward of that, we get in there. There's other couples now that have to have their ceremony. I want to say like there's like 4 couples, but we don't care. Because at this point, our name is on that paper. We already paid. We sitting up here relaxing. We taking pictures. We kiki-kikiing. We thirsty, but we are hungry as hell. We are hungry. We thirsty. We didn't had a long day. I want to tell you, we was on our feet and doing all these things since 11 o'clock in the morning, ripping and running back and forth and doing all this stuff. So we were tired at the end of the day. So anyway, we're waiting, and finally they called our name. So when they called our name, my best friend was able to come into the courtroom. My brother was my witness, so of course he was there, and so was my husband's best friend. So we came. We went in front of the judge. At the end of the day, I would definitely insert a picture of that. And he asked, do you take this, the whole whoop, 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 whoop thing. And then, we were married. He stamped it. He was like, you ain't gotta, this is your license at the end of the day. And you don't have to wait for no license in the mail. This is your original copy. That's it. Is it? I said, so we married? We're married. The end at the end of the day. You ain't no 24 hours changing your mind, because I think I didn't get to tell you that you could have, if you get your license before anybody signs it, you can have 24 hours to say, hey, I don't want to do this anymore, which makes no sense because you have 60 days. So wouldn't you just wait out the 60 days versus coming back down 24 hours? Anyway, I don't really know what their rules and regulations is, but that's exactly what happened, what transpired with that. So he's like, there's no 24 hours for y'all married after this. So we're like, all right, cool, that's what we wanted. We wanted that August 11th, exactly what we got. So we went out. At the end of the day, our family was there to greet us. We were hugging, we were happy, we were just, it was just a journey in itself at the end of the day. And it was a beautiful journey. It was a hectic journey, but you know, it was our journey, and we just had a really, really great time. So we went downstairs. We got in a car because now we had to drive from Brooklyn to the Bronx to go to Staten Island. So needless to say, we had a really eventful day, eventful. Am I saying that right? Anyway, we just had a crazy day. Let's say it like that. We had a crazy day, but it was good. Our family was there. We ate at City Island. It was a good restaurant. We had a really good time. We had a blast. The time we got home, I think it was like 11:30. Me and my husband was beat. We were tired. We were drained. And mind you, 2 days after that, that's when we went to Delaware. If you don't know, go on my channel and check out the road trip to Delaware, a 2-part situation when we went to Delaware, and that was 2 days after we got our marriage license. So that is it for this story time. Thank you for joining in and listening to my story time. Until next time, I'll see you. I love you. Please stay blessed and highly favored. Take care. Bye bye.
You